So inspiration doesn't come from magic. Like for Chaplin, the last thing you're going to look at is magic.
Hmm.
So it comes from the movies or art, or if I go to a museum, or if or toy shops, or we have in Canada here, or I like to go to Canadian Tire, which is like a hobby, not like not a hobby shop, or home hardware, or
Yeah, like yeah, you have a little bit of everything in there.
Home Depot, one of those places. So that's and that's Chaplin. I've been studying Charlie Chaplin since a lot of my creative process comes from Chaplin. Um, Chaplin would look at life a little differently.
Hmm.
So almost like a comedian who would stand back and observe life. And that's where my inspiration comes from. It's being able to stand back and observe.
So, thanks for joining us in this new episode of The Process. And today we have Mr. Paul Romhany. Well, actually, how would you pronounce your name?
Exactly like you said, believe it or not. But people from Europe pronounce it correctly because it's a Euro. I know you're not Europe. Well, your French background, but it's actually you're correct. My father was Hungarian, and so it's Romhany. But everyone else, I got so used to people not being able to pronounce it that I just gave up correcting
It's
them.
it's kind of like that sauce that they have for steak, Worcestershire.
I can't say that word, but
So,
no,
well, first of all, thank you so much for taking some time with us. Obviously, it's a beautiful day and you could be doing something better than talking to me.
it's a real green screen.
It's a real green screen, same thing as me here. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so I just made a move and something popped up on the screen, so my bad on that. So just for people if they're ever tuning in, it's their first time, and also for you, I guess I'm gonna break down what this whole podcast is about. So as the name says, the process, okay, and the reason why that you were contacted and everything, it's because I'm interested in seeing what is the creative process for people who work in like variety of industries and magic and stuff like this. And I found out in a little bit of research, be it conscious or subconscious, we seem to have like 5 steps within this process itself. Okay, so the first step would be, well, just by the way, if you hear some slobbering sounds, that's my dog in the background. Okay, so just it has nothing to do with me. Okay, so it's not. This is Boris here. See, there we're in good company.
Here's my dog. Even
Well, I mean, like there's certain artists we don't name names, and they have a whole team of people to help them with the podcast. I just run with my guy here. So,
my
but
team planted this morning because we knew we were going to do this.
exactly, yeah, they trimmed their hedges. I love that.
We have a time limit on how long I've hired this for. So if we go over time, you'll see a whole lot of people come in and just move it.
And move the panels away. So, well, just back to like I was saying, like the creative process for people. So, and those 5 steps would be, well, first step would be inspiration. So, what people do like on a day to day to stay inspired.
Yep.
Step 2 would be incubation. So that would be like how you marinate those ideas. You basically need to sit down in a fixed period of time. Do you're a free thinker? How do you go about that? Step 3 would be illumination. So that's like that eureka moment. Does it happen more often at night when you're sleeping? Do you meditate for to get to that point? Like, how do you process that? Basically, do you need to stop everything you're doing? You work on that nonstop. Phase 4 would be the exploration. So once that you have the idea, how it's like you're the butcher. How are you going to take that piece of meat, trim it down to get to your beautiful filet? And then phase 5, well, certain people for them during the process, when they have an idea, they get their high just from finding the equation to the puzzle, how
Yeah,
solving that thing. Other people, they wanted to have a life of their own and becomes a product, and it sustains them. So
yeah.
how people, like step five would be implementation. So how would you implement that in your regular life? Yeah. So that kind of covers about, like, what we're going to go through together. But before we jump into that, like, for people who aren't familiar with you, can you, like, basically break down what is it, what's your occupation, what you do, how do you describe you're in the magic field, but is there like a specific kind of title to this, or?
No, so I've been doing it full time as my only job for over 35 years, maybe longer. I have a background in music like you do. I have a degree in music. And we'll talk about this because music plays a huge part, probably the biggest part of anything for me for my
Yeah, I
career.
didn't know. We shared because we chat, outside of this project, and yeah, I was happily surprised at your reactions to certain music. So
Well,
it's fun to have
no,
that contact as well.
my whole creative process is because of starts with music. Anyway, get into that. So music is my background. I've been playing since I was about 6 years old, piano, violin, whatever, all forms of music. And I have a degree in music. I have my diploma in teaching high school music. So when I was 20, I was doing magic on the weekends. So I'm now 55, so a long time ago. And then I've just been doing it full time.
55.
Mm.
Do you sleep in formaldehyde or something like this because you're like wrinkle free?
Oil of Ulan.
Oh, you're the villain. Yes.
Um, and it's just healthy living and or trying to be healthy anyway. And so that's all I've ever done. Obviously, Vanish Magic Magazine is a magazine. Again, it's all about creativity. I love doing the magazine. By the way, I think you may be a contributor.
Yes. Well, actually,
Um,
for people who aren't aware, Vanish recently even won an award, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, the Academy of Magical Arts, they recognized me for the 13 years Vanish has been going, which was a huge honor. And
Oh, definitely.
but
Congratulations.
thank you. The reason I love it, and it's work, but because your
Yeah.
article, you alone do the one, your article, and you know how much work one article is
Yeah.
designing. But anyway, so the reason I love it is that's a creative process. See, any outlet for me that is creative, I
Mhm.
love. Um,
Even food, I think.
well, let's not get too carried away, but no. So I'm monetized on Facebook. So my page is Paul R, and on there, that's another creative outlet. No, that's why I love it so much. It hasn't really got much to do with magic, mostly cooking the most ridiculous things you can imagine, and it's got nothing to do with the food. It's got to do with I'm fascinated, and it's like magic. How can I get people to stop? What makes them stop and
Yeah.
look at some? So I believe that everything I've learned in the past 30 plus years, as far as editing, filming, I love filming, all that stuff is made for me for Facebook. I love
Yeah.
that I love the medium. I was excited when COVID hit because I love them. Zoom. I was using Zoom before anyone knew what Zoom was.
Mhm.
We homeschooled my son for he was homeschooled, and we used Zoom before anyone knew what it was. In fact,
Yeah. Which area you're from?
you mean where am I from? New Zealand?
Well, like right now, yeah, because
Oh,
I
I'm
see.
in Vancouver. Sorry,
Okay.
Vancouver. Yeah. Uh, so all the online stuff I was creating. I was the first person. I'm not gonna. I was thinking about this the other day. I remember a long time ago. I was the first person to ever offer downloads. They got to a point where people were offering DVDs as instructions, and this is going back a long time. I looked at the technology and thought, I don't think there's going to be DVDs around much longer.
Mhm.
I was the first person to do a download, and I'll never forget the backlash I got for that. People complained, they were upset. We want a DVD. And this is before anyone ever, I was the first,
Yeah.
before anyone ever did, I have a product I put through Murphy's. I said, I'm going to do it as a download where people can, or they either watch it online, I forget what it was now. It
Mm.
might have been a download, it was a video. And then the backlash was terrible. People didn't, and then maybe a year, 6 months to a year later, everyone
Common.
started doing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm getting at is I like to look towards. I love technology. I'm
Yeah.
always looking towards the future. And the reason I love technology is because it allows me to be creative.
Mhm.
Um, I love anything I do. Technology, the magazine, the magic, music. Everything is creative. It's all creativity, right? Uh, so that's me in a nutshell, I guess.
But I mean, like, so let's say to step one, when you take that and you say it's a little bit of everything, so you seem to be like a Epicurean. You know, you try a lot of different things. Music wise, very, I would say like maybe a wide spectrum. Like you seem to get your inspiration from it. So let's say food, music, reading. Do you meditate by any chance?
Um, no, I do kickboxing every morning.
Oh wow,
So I can,
serious?
yeah, but I use a VR headset. I do all VR virtual reality kickboxing.
Yeah.
That's my exercise. Oh, and I take my dog for a walk. Where is he?
Wow, that's still, huh?
So no. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
Need 5 hours sleep. So my meditation, I do have a great meditation VR headset that I sometimes do, my VR headset.
Yeah.
So, very much into the virtual reality exercise. Uh, s- um, so yeah, sort of meditation for me uh, comes in a variety of.
Yeah, it's not necessarily sitting down and saying in front of a wall. It could be like
No,
you
for
when
me,
you're cooking, you're in the zone. You
can't see it here, but right behind me, we have these amazing ski fields, and obviously they're
yeah,
not snow at the moment. So I'll go hiking. I would drop my son, who's
yeah.
5 minutes from school. So my meditation is nature. I love nature.
Hmm.
I'll be by myself, um, just going for hikes or skiing, and it's just me. And then I'll that's where I just clear
You zone out.
I zone out. So there's no,
Yeah,
and I can be full on 24 hours a day in my mind
yeah.
creating, because I've always got stuff going on, and I'm always helping people. I mean, the people that I help, I get people contact me all the time, and I help them, and I'm happy to help them because I like to give, and so I'm always thinking about something, whether it's my
Mhm.
own, somebody else's. But there are times where you need I can turn everything off.
Yeah,
Somebody once asked me, "Do you ever? Can you turn it?" I can turn it off. I can turn it off like that.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
there goes the dog.
so
The kids just arrived. I'll just close the door.
okay, so yeah, so I can that's my meditation anyway.
But see, because you're mentioning this, it ties in a little bit in regards to, I guess, step two, which would be incubation. So you have a little bit of a routine during the day before you set yourself to be able to like start working, because like you're saying, it's 24 hours a day with the ideas and stuff. So there's a structure to how you build your day before setting down to work.
No, not. I mean, I sit the minute I wake up, I start work.
Okay.
If but here's the funny thing. I have other things going on at the same time. So, for example, obviously, right now we have the Euro football, the Euro World Cup, the Cup on, and then the South American games are on. Us, South American. Sorry, the whatever. The football's all on. So I'll have that going in the background while I'm doing while I'm creating. I
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
when I go, and this is something when I so 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 my inspire I'll get back to that, but so at night time when I go to sleep,
hmm
I listen to podcasts, but it's not I listen to comedy podcasts.
okay, yeah,
So I'll fall asleep and I'll wake up with it still going.
yeah,
So I zone out by listening to something completely. I'm a big fan of Conan,
yeah.
and there's a couple of others I listen to.
The barbarian, right?
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, yes. So I listen to
But
these. So there's stuff always going on in the mind. That
still stimulus is coming in.
yes, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give
yeah.
you an example. I sleep with the earbuds as well, but it'll be like a frequency
Right, yeah.
or something self-hypnotic, to try and get me into like a release of the day. But you, it seems like nonstop, like almost like
I've been like that since I can way back to when I was a kid. I remember
that's
being
what I was gonna say.
7 years old. I would listen. I had my own little radio, and I would listen to the
Yeah,
Goon Show every night, or
yeah.
talk back radio. I always had to have something going on.
Something going on, yeah.
Yep. And even when I'm asleep, I had something. I have
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Um. So but it's very little of it is very little of the creativity comes from magic. So in other words, I surround myself with anything but magic.
See?
So I'll go out every day. I go out. I try to go out for a walk
Yeah.
or something, and I'm inspired by everything. So I learned that from Charlie Chaplin because the other. I mean, if we're getting back, I when I was 8 years old, I discovered Charlie Chaplin. I discovered magic. I discovered music at 6. And so I've been performing as Charlie Chaplin for 47 years.
Wow.
And I've been doing Chaplin longer than Chaplin. Which is true.
And it's just amazing, the Chaplin, just a little side note, when you have that kind of mustache, what kind of a difference just a hat can make.
Oh, I mean, that's a lecture, that's a podcast in itself. But the thing then, so getting to the music is such a big inspiration for
Yeah.
me. So when I do perform as Chaplin, so when I create magic for Chaplin, it's all music inspired. Everything,
Okay.
the music comes first. I've got routines here, like the salt pour, that I've been working on for close to probably 15 years, but never
Yeah.
put it in the act. I can do it technically, but until I can find the right piece of music, it's a waste. Like
Yeah.
my floating broom, it took me over a year. I had the broom, I do
Yeah.
a signature trick I invented or created, and made by someone else, but it took me a long time to do it. So people have asked me, can you sell the floating broom? I go, well, it won't. No, because it won't work for you. And they go,
Yeah.
"Well, it will work for me. I go, no, you don't understand. Just gonna inks and bindings. I'm not sure what that is. The creative process behind that particular trick, when I perform that, I can actually cry when I do that, because that I built a story in my mind.
Mhm.
That inspiration for the floating broom came from Chaplin, who a lot of the Chaplin stuff comes from Chaplin, where in his movies he would go into a dreamlike state. He was
Mhm.
a janitor, go to sleep with a broom. The broom would come to life and be a woman, and he'd dance. And so I
Yeah.
took it and I created my magic floating broom with it. So inspiration doesn't come from magic. Like for Chaplin, the last thing you're going to look at is magic.
Mhm.
So it comes from the movies or art, or if I go to a museum, or if or toy shops, or we have in Canada here, or I like to go to Canadian Tire, which is like a hobby, not not a hobby shop, or home hardware, or
Yeah, like yeah, you have a little bit of everything in there.
Home Depot, one of those places. So that's and that's Chaplin. I've been studying Charlie Chaplin since a lot of my creative process comes from Chaplin. Chaplin would look at life a little differently.
Mhm.
So almost like a comedian who would stand back and observe life. And that's where my inspiration comes from. It's been able to stand back and observe. So I
Mhm.
bring that. So when it comes to magazines, I get inspiration from other magazines,
Yeah.
layouts. When it comes to magic, inspiration comes from everywhere but magic, because
Yeah, exactly.
the
It's weird
mechanics
because
of the mechanics of it, that's the last thing on my mind.
yeah, it's the emotions first, the connection.
The connection, and also there needs to be a reason why I'm creating it. I
Mhm.
only create stuff to use. So everything I've released, I've over 100 products I've released, over, I don't know, 40, 50 books I've written,
Mhm.
uh, maybe more now, I can't remember. But every product comes from a need. So I'm not just creating magic for the sake of, if you're out to create magic because you think you're going to make a lot of money, you're in the wrong business,
Oh
because
my Lord. Yeah.
the last thing you'll do.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. Those days were 20 years ago, where you could sell a deck of cards, a special trick deck, and buy a nice car or something, whatever. Now you might sell something and make enough to buy a burger.
Yeah.
But so you have to do it. But so the
I like that. That's the perfect timing. That is that is that when the people from the green screen start leaving?
you don't want to anyway. So the first thing is creating, not just because it's creating because I'm going to use it. That really is the number one thing for me.
Yeah.
There's a need.
It has to say something.
Yeah, and there's a need though for me to do it. Like yes, yeah.
So basically, those things, like, okay, because when I did the project, I was hoping that over time, when I have a multitude of guests, that something would emerge from this. So one thing that it seems to be coming, because you just touched on it, is for inspiration, a lot of people, they turn away from magic. Because when you look towards too much magic, what would happen is that you become complacent with what already exists, and you become like a little bit of a clone, or you're like at the mercy of the product itself instead of trying to, like you said, to express a need, you know?
That's it. And I find magic in a bubble. Magic is there's the magic world in a bubble, and a lot of magicians get caught up in a bubble. And so I don't live in a bubble.
Mhm.
Look at the whole world and get inspiration from outside of it. Otherwise, I think it's too easy then to copy
Yeah.
or clone. And, I mean, I started out in magic, and my inspirations, I became David Copperfield, Paul Daniels, Harry Anderson, in my early 20s. And it took a long time to find out who you are. Also, once as a performer, once you discover who you are, and
Mhm.
that took me 40 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
uh, my friend, everybody, the biggest advice people give is, oh, you have to be yourself. I'm not kidding, took 40 years before I knew who I was. And now I'm so
Mhm.
comfortable on stage that that's who I am. I know my
Yeah.
persona because it's me, it's me, but it's a little extension of me. But that took a long time. So some people are fortunate. I know young people in their 20s that are way more natural. They
Mhm.
just know exactly who they are, but so everybody's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so let's say that covers for inspiration and incubation. So for a eureka moment for you, is that
Oh,
more
go back to incubation. Can you say that again, please? Incubation, because I like that.
incubation is like basically how do you need to structure your day to,
Right.
or like you have to go about like developing your ideas, you know? So let's say
Yeah.
you're saying that you get up, okay, you do a little bit of your
So,
kickboxing,
yeah.
you get
So,
yourself ready for your
so that,
day and
yeah. Now I, I help people write books, and I tell people that everyone has a book in them. To write a book, you need to put every day half an hour or an hour aside to start with,
Mhm.
and make it something that you do every day, like
Yeah,
brushing your teeth. And then
yeah,
it becomes routine.
yeah,
So my routine is the minute I wake up, I start work. No, sorry, I have a cup of coffee, and then I might do my workout, and then I usually go straight into my work. So I
yeah.
work better in the morning. I work better late at night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And that gives me time in the day to do other things. Depends what it is. But with the magazine, it's full on morning, night, noon. It doesn't stop. But I have to put that aside. So a lot of my day is spent with the magazine.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
mainly my fault because I'm the one who sets the last article at the last second
no,
before it
but
goes
no, but no, but you're okay because you do the layouts, so that's great. I
on.
don't mind if I did the layouts, I couldn't do it. So, but when I'm performing, like this weekend, I'm away. I just turn everything off, and my
Yeah,
focus then is just performing. As far as creativity goes, um, if I am creating something, then I will put time aside just to work on that.
yeah,
But then again, having said that, we're talking about creating a magic trick. The magazine is creativity all the time, so that's going on all
continuous.
the time.
So would you say
Yeah,
that you have like multiple projects that are like streamlined at the same time, and then eureka moments come here and there as
yeah,
they go along?
yeah, and they can take years. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
they don't, and you never set yourself, you never set yourself a moment. It's always unexpected. You just don't know, and then you have to look at every option. So your research is part of that. You have to really go back and research. I have a small group of friends that I will email and say, "Hey, have you heard of this, or do you know this?" And they will give
but
me
that's
ideas.
right away. That's already in for exploration because what happens is like you're mentioning there's certain people. I just want to leave you elaborate on that because certain people like I don't know if it's a ego or trust issues, but sometimes like there's a lot of people who will just take an idea and run with it. So sharing the idea, like to trust your friends to be able to help you grow on that idea without also giving you positive criticism without bashing you, you know. So how would you like? Okay, you get so your ideas. You say that you get them more day or night or sleeping, or you said it's any moment of the day.
Depends. If I am working on something, it'll be at night. that I think about it, and usually I wake up and it's in the old noggin.
Okay. Yeah.
Or those eureka moments, they can come at any time.
Yeah.
And they may not even be my eureka moments. It might be somebody else. I'm working on something and somebody else's, the missing piece, for example,
Yeah.
which is the puzzle routine. That's a collaboration between Connie Boyd and myself. And she had those eureka moments, and I took those and played with them. But she had the one major eureka moment was hers. So, and then I developed that into whatever else it is now.
Yeah.
But you have to trust people, and I have a small group of friends, just a small number, who have great knowledge on what's been out there, and somebody might be specialized in one thing, so I approach them. So it's definitely you need that. I think also to do the research on the history of something is important. Chances are everything's in Tarbell.
That that is the thing, because again, like sometimes, like I don't know if you believe in synchronicity, but like like you're like, I'm a genius, I came up with this, it's impossible that someone else has this, and then you like someone, no, Stéphane, that's like Tarbell, whatever, and my dreams are crushed. It's like,
Well, yeah, I have that all the time. You just move on.
Well, actually, you try to make that evolve if you can,
or make it better. But often, if it's there's stuff that people have done that I'm going, well, I'm not going to put any more work into it, because this is, as far as I'm concerned, it works. It's 100%.
Yeah.
Is it the missing piece, which is the puzzle, is a good example. People come up with different ideas, and I'm like, you're making it far too complicated, way too complicated. It works like I've got it to a point now where I've made them where it's like people have come up with these crazy gimmicks of things that extend and all. It just makes no sense. You're making it far too complicated than what it needs to be. We put the years into it, but there's an example of an effect that was out there. Here's the other thing: if there's an effect you like that you want to do, or that I like, I think, how can I make it? So the one thing I always do, because people send me a lot of stuff because I produce magic as well. I'm a producer of magic. So they send me things and I'm never happy with something. They go, check this out. And I try to go for the ultimate. I go for what would the ultimate of that trick be? So for the missing piece, ultimate would be a free choice. See, no one's ever done it before. People have put out special boxes and they say free choice, but no, it's a force of 2-3 pieces inside a box. They had to choose one that's upside. No. The ultimate piece for that puzzle trick, where you have a puzzle of, say, the Mona Lisa, and is to take the pieces and say, here, choose one, completely free choice. That is the ultimate. So how do you achieve that? So when I do a magic trick, or I'm looking at creating something, I go, what would the ultimate version be? And I start there, and that's where now it could take me years to get there.
Yeah, but so you would say it's like reverse engineering?
Yes.
Okay, so the final objective is the maximum.
Yep.
And then you start backtracking. Okay, so then you start backtracking with that, but also your antenna is up for the right, let's say, song.
Yeah.
Because there's an ecosystem, I think, that to how you.
Yeah. So now in that case, yes, and then yes, there is. You have to think, or I do anyway. I think how can I go from that point from where I am now to where I want to be? I look at every possible option. I'll go visit those Home Hardware, Home Depot places. I'll look at you'll even go to the extreme. I forget how many versions. There was one. I had an idea for an electronic version with a remote control unit, and then the pieces will fall off and on.
Oh my Lord!
But at the end of the day, that's just stupid, because you're dealing then with the remote control units. That they're going to fail. And
electronics failing? What are you talking about? Podcast number 2.
You forget to charge the batteries or something. But you know what I mean. Sometimes so even the most complicated. Often, I'll be honest, this is a funny thing. Often, the first thing I think of is the most complicated
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's always like, okay, if I had a remote control unit, the president that went down and around, blah, blah, oh, this would be great. And then you hit yourself over the head and you go,
Yeah.
no. So, but you put out as many different ideas as you
Yeah.
can of that method. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. And
Research
then
and development.
yeah, that's it. But then I might brainstorm that with somebody and they go, well, that's, nobody can make that. Well, I probably could, but
Yeah.
you eventually, now it could take years, it could take a day, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and even, I'll be honest with you, say that I'm using the missing piece because it's my latest thing that we've created. Even that we created it, I came up with some ideas, and then even then, a couple of months later, I discovered a
Another.
gimmick, another thing. So everybody that bought it, I sent them something new, not a new method. The method is the same, but a new way to do the trick,
Yeah.
which is even better, and it adds to it so that when you take the cloth off,
Mhm.
it's beautiful. It's just that piece is gone. It's just I'm trying to tell you without giving it away, but so there's something, and so even my dream prediction is something I created 20 years ago, I think.
Mhm.
The number one solo mentalism piece in the world for a confabulation. It's a big envelope, big window envelope, very simple again in nature. Even to this day, 20 years later, I'm still looking at it. And every time I go into a Staples, which is the stationery shop,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the latest envelopes. I've actually created a new method. No, the same method, but using I bought some coffee about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if I showed you this. I bought some coffee in a bag,
Okay.
and it was fill your own coffee bag, right? But it was a coffee bag, brown bag with a clear window, and I just went, oh my God, green prediction. So now I've been making them up. So now I have a coffee bag with a clear window.
Yeah.
Then you can have coffee beans in there
Yeah.
with a piece of paper. So when you tip it upside down, the paper falls out with the coffee beans, and in that piece of paper is whatever you want it to say. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But there's
Decaf.
what's that?
Decaf.
Is it? Yeah, that's the name of so yeah. So that's you see where the inspiration comes
Yeah.
from. So you have to have a really good base knowledge. That's the other important thing, is you have to have a good base knowledge. So I, since I was a kid, 8 years old or whatever, have been reading every magic book, studying magic, and
But it's not an effort for you to do that. It's not a task.
it's a joy. No, and it should be a joy, right? Oh, sorry, hang on. I've got to turn this off. Someone's trying to call me. I'll turn it off. So,
Like, it's a lifestyle. It's not like you're saying I'm working 40 hours a week at this project.
I've never worked a day in my life.
There you go too.
And that frees you up to be creative.
Yeah. And would you say also that your mistakes aren't really mistakes? They're like learning stones to be able to evolve. Like you hit a mistake, I'm gonna quit.
No, life, the meaning for life for me is learning,
Mhm.
and personal life, things go tits up. I think we can say that. Um,
Oh, you whatever you want to say.
I mean, belly up. I think it's cool. I was trying to think of the saying, things
Yeah.
go belly up. Or tits up, I think, is an English
Yeah.
saying. So you take that and you turn it around, you think, okay, this is just in life. Forget magic. You try and use that to push forward.
Yeah.
And magic wise, if you're creating magic, there'll be more failures. Of course, you've got to fail to succeed, right? So
Listen, yeah, for sure.
you go,
Like
well,
between that and starting an idea that you thought was original and then having to restart that because there's non-stop little challenges, but I think that's the joy when people of this kind of like field, I think that's a part of the joy. You have to have that kind of nature of you of wanting to get to the holy grail.
well, yes, absolutely, and that can take. As I said, the salt pour routine is. I don't know how long I've been working on that. The mechanics fine, but the actual. Now, the other thing, like use Vanish Magazine as an example. There have been about 4 times now where I've got to the very end of doing the entire month's magazine, and for whatever reason the computer crashes and I
Yeah.
lose the entire thing.
Yeah.
Now I no longer I just go, "Yep, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
start again. I've got about 6 hours to do a
Yeah.
whole magazine. I better get cracking." And I'll be honest with you, when I do it, I like it better.
The second
Like
time around.
this is fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because I mean, I do do the layouts and everything and edit and so if I often look back and go, oh boy, I wish I could do that one again, but I don't look back. I just you always move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're saying, like, because I'm really curious with this, is that if you have, let's say, multiple projects going forward, okay, when do you know is the time to jump off that one to start something else? You know, like I'm not hitting my idea right now. I think I
Oh,
should just,
yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes you have to put like I put things to the side, like
yeah,
say the salt pour. There's a couple of things I've just put to the side, and something will spark an inspiration, but it's always there. It's always
but not giving up on it.
no. I have a countertop with them with projects sitting there,
Yeah.
lots of them. And now a great example, I believe, is the one that you and I are working on. I won't give too much away, but that cost me. I invested about 3,000 US into that,
I remember, yeah.
and then and I've got all the prototypes sitting here. I gave up on it. No, I performed it. What am I saying? I performed it,
Yeah.
but I gave up as far as releasing it
Yeah.
because it was going to cost way too much. And
Yeah.
you and I met, and then I think you said, "Oh, I've got this idea." I went, "Wait a minute, that's my idea." Yeah, it's similar things.
Yeah.
And we collaborated on it,
Yeah.
which is great, and we're going to release it. But that that's one of those things that I put to the side and just left it there because I know eventually I'd meet someone or I'd find the right
Things
person.
happen.
Or yeah, absolutely. So sometimes you do have to put things to the side.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about magic is that you could put it to the side and then somebody else could release it, which has happened.
Yeah.
And it's always a bit of a risk, but that's just the chance. That's just the risk you take. The other
Yeah.
thing I tell people, look, at least if you put it in a book or in a magazine, it's out there with your name on it. Nobody's ever going to
Exactly.
make it probably. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? It's there and it's in print
I
because
know.
quite often when you release something, somebody says, "Oh, I released that,"
Yeah, but
but there's no proof.
because I people write to me often and they ask for suggestions about like how can I protect my stuff and blah blah blah, or and I'm like, write. You just write. You write a book, write a blog, write. You have to document what you're doing,
Put it
even
in
if you don't release it.
there's an old saying which is so true. If you want to protect
Yeah,
something, put it in a magazine because nobody will ever do it.
yeah. And then one day, bang! You remember that?
Well, but it's always there. And then and if somebody wants to make it up, they will contact you.
Yeah.
That's honestly that's an old saying from years ago in magic.
Oh, for sure. Well, also, I find like because if you want to protect a secret, you put it in a book.
Yep, absolutely. So
The right
that's
people will find it because
yeah,
not everyone's going to want to read. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Also with today is that people are afraid of like let's say exposure of magic. But the thing is that who it's catering to isn't, in my opinion, the core source of magicians. You know
the
what I
whole.
mean? So
I don't think
there's no correlation between the art being diluted because there's people seeing
no.
exposed things. In
That's
the worst case scenario, they'll say, "Why didn't you do it like that?" And it'll evolve, maybe, you know. And
yeah,
if you don't want that, put it in the book.
exactly. Yeah, that whole exposure thing always makes me laugh.
I know
I,
there's a
I,
lot of drama on that.
I don't follow any of it, but my theory on this, and this is the first time I've ever said this because people ask and I just don't give opinion on it. To
Mm.
be honest with you, doesn't bother me. I don't care what people do. It's never affected me. I've never gone to a gig, and I'm gigging all the time, and
Mhm.
people go, "Oh, if anything, here's the big thing." Oh, I'll get back into that. I've sat in shows. I went to a theater show recently, and kid had his phone, and then somebody did a sub trunk or whatever the trick was, and he just Googled this trick.
Yeah,
Um, um, and it came up on a website where you could buy it. It wasn't exposed, but you could. So, and then so it's a hard one. just never affected me. Hey, create an act that's original, like my Charlie Chaplin. It's either my act is it's never been copied. It's either my act is either so bad that no one wants to copy it, or that's what I like to tell people.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's been going on for so long now. It's so refined. Yeah, it's
I've been
like,
doing it there's no way in the world that anyone could do my act. I had somebody offer to buy my act,
yeah,
and I came up with a price and everything, and I thought I could sell it to them,
but
but
you couldn't be able to perform it.
there's no way in the world. I've spent
Exactly.
47 years
Yeah,
learning how to be Chaplin. There's
yeah,
every nuance. I can't teach somebody nuances. You have to become the character.
yeah.
That's acting. You have to. So, but the tricks themselves, uh, but it's the actual show and the thought behind it and that goes into it. So as far as that goes, I think uh, the people that aren't worried about the exposure are people that have created that aren't selling their magic.
Yeah.
They're not all over television. They're not underground, but they're just out there working. And
Yeah.
so,
Well,
but
I'll give you an example. Like in the last edition for the magazine, I did the book test.
yes,
That was because I wanted to do an original book test, and I realized that Mr. Valentine had something within the same thinking.
right, yeah,
I didn't like it; just pushed me to try and
yeah,
one up.
yeah,
So it's something I don't think it's like very difficult or it's not innovative or anything, but it kind of like became my own because of necessity.
yeah. It doesn't have to be absolutely, and that's exactly why I create because I need it, not
Yeah,
anyone else.
exactly. Yeah,
So I know a lot of young. I see people releasing tricks every week or every month, whatever. It seems like every week. Um, it's hit and miss. They're doing it. They're not doing it because there's no one. You can't tell me that they're performing a new trick every week, and it's impossible. They're creating because they want to be creators and they want to get their name. It's a completely different reason than I do it. I don't do it because I don't want my name out there. I don't do it because I'm going to make money. So you have to first of all think, why are you creating? There's two different thoughts. If you're going to create a trick that you want to sell to magicians, and that's the road you want to, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, if that's the road you want to go down, um, then that's the road you go down. But
Mhm.
you've got to keep in mind that I've been doing it for a long time, and so everything I've created is from my act, and I've
Yeah,
performed.
for you
So that,
first.
yeah, and that's the other thing is road test, and I think that was something that comes up in one of your points. You road test it long enough that you get see a lot of somebody gets an idea, they make it up, they sell it to Penguin or Murphy's or whoever, illusionist, make their $500, and but it's not road tested. It's just an
Yeah.
idea. Uh, Everything I've done has been road tested over thousands of shows on cruise ships for 20 years, performance, and everything's road tested. So everything that went wrong has gone wrong.
And yeah, exactly. You went through the failures so
Yeah,
that the person who buys it,
yeah,
that's the shortcut.
yeah,
Like so sometimes even like with a product, they'll be like, it's so simple. Why does it cost X? It's because of all the R&D that went
yeah.
to bring it to this point so that you don't make those mistakes, you know?
So those are really important parts of creating magic,
Mhm.
is making those mistakes and then road testing it. Too often we see stuff on the market that hasn't been road tested. I've seen stuff get recalled, you
Yeah.
know, tricks that weren't produced properly. Um, so yeah, I think that's a really important part is to road test it. And that's what I do.
But because also, would you have any suggestions in regards to waiting for the perfect moment to protest it? Because for me personally, I perform whenever I can. So if I go outside, I'll do, and that's where like I'm not afraid to make a mistake because it's not as if the person's going to remember that and talk
Oh,
to their family about my mistake. It's like,
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I'm the same. I try to road test it anywhere.
yeah, anywhere.
Uh, uh, Depends what the trick is. But if I'm creating like my linking little finger rings I did,
Yeah,
the ring trick merge, or I'm creating my version of my dream prediction, which is a small pocket version, that you can take anywhere and do. And I road test those, get it to a point where I'm comfortable with it. I don't come up with the idea and that night I'm doing it.
yeah.
Uh, you get it to the point you practice it and you get it to the point where you feel comfortable, and I will take it to
Have you ever failed a trick in front of someone?
Is it? Well, I've had stuff happen, yeah, but if it happens in Chaplin, it's part of the act, so it doesn't. It's not a
No,
phase.
no, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it depends on the character.
Well, I'll give you an exact, because sometimes if I try to road test something on some, or even a sleight of hand tip, and I want to push my limit, if I get called out, I just say, yeah, you got me. I'm practicing. I'm trying to get better at that.
No, I
Sorry.
can't, and I know this might. I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I can't. I don't recall because it all comes down to I have just me personally. I have outs for everything.
Yeah,
So
okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
but
that's
that's
just
the thing too, Paul, because you did it so much that now mistakes aren't even,
well.
they're welcome. They're like, boop.
You also have to remember this. This is something I learned from music, from playing piano since I was 6 years old.
Mhm.
I hated doing concerts and piano concerts um, and recitals and things, but I had to do them growing up. And the thing I learned more than anything, and this is the one thing I took from music to my performance in magic, any performance, whether you're in a play, you're an actor, or whatever it is, music. One thing I learned was when you play piano, and you'd know this being a keyboard player, if you do a concert or you play a piece and you make a mistake, oh shit. I don't know. Well, people are going, oh, he made a mistake, or she made a mistake, whoever. But if you go bung
And you
note,
continue.
can continue, nobody will know.
I know.
So 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 that's the biggest thing I learned in my whole life is in my show. I did a gig the other night. I did a graduation, and I was doing some my normal card stuff. And I was did 2 hours. So near the end of the 2 hours, I can physically feel myself getting tired.
Yeah.
So I think I went to do my double lifts were getting a bit sloppy. I didn't care. They never picked it up. But whatever happened, something. But then I just started jamming because I realized I missed on something, and it made nobody knew what was going to
Yeah.
happen. And so you just get your way out of it. Always have a backup. I've always got the card to wallet or whatever it is
Yeah.
as backup. So always,
Yeah, you don't freak out.
and also here's the thing: if you're going to road test something, um, put everything. You just do one thing at a time. So you do you've got your solid repertoire. So you've got the solid. Like I'm talking for stage stuff too. I put new things in my stage act. I'll tell you a funny story in a second because you learn it by your mistakes. I'll tell you this is funny. Happened 3 weeks ago.
Huh?
And it wasn't my trick. I bought this trick which I really loved. It's with three envelopes, and you hand out. It's a what is it, banknotes type thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I have my own routine that I've been doing, but I thought, I'm going to try this. It's nice for a B show. We call it on cruise ships. And I have my chair test I do with my bank night. But I thought I'm going to try this. So I practiced. There wasn't not much to the method, nothing to practice. I practiced the patter or whatever, the script, and then I went to do it, and it was on a stage. I was doing my stage show, um, and the guy that did it on the tutorial, he put the three envelopes. Spectator has completely free choice, takes one, and then you put the other two envelopes in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then they open up their envelope. They've got some money, but you've got more money in yours, whatever. Well, so I put the envelopes in there. I go to hand the gentleman or the guy the envelope. These two envelopes fall out of my pocket. Now they fall into the orchestra pit because it's in a proper.
Yes.
Not just in the orchestra pit. There's a thin crack in the floor.
Yeah.
So when they fell out of my pocket, I thought, oh, that's okay. I can make a joke and
Yeah.
I'll get them. But then I saw them vanish. They went through the orchestra pit, through the floor. In the entire orchestra pit, there was just a little section, no bigger than that. But the envelope somehow went straight through, fell out, found them, went through, and were down in the bottom of the theater. There was, I mean, like,
Gone.
so no, but nobody knew what was happening except me. And I made a joke. Oh, look, they vanished, and didn't get a laugh. I laughed. And I thought, the first time I ever did the trick. So the guy opens up his envelope. He's got his $5. So as far as the audience was concerned,
Yep.
I had just given the guy $5. Nobody knows why. Part of the patter was I'm going to make you win $5.
Yeah.
No, that was it. And then later on in the show, I said, I need to borrow some money. Who's got $5? And I got a good laugh. So
Yeah.
as far as the audience, I made it, and that wasn't actually planned. I was never going to do that, but I knew while I'm doing my show, I knew I had to make a call back to that so it
Yeah.
didn't look like a mistake.
Yeah.
So they made it thought, oh, he dropped the envelopes by accident. Now he can't do the trick. But actually, when you look back at the show, they go, oh, that was I now know why he did that, and that was all part of it.
See,
So you've got to constantly think
on your
it's
feet, yeah.
the feet, and then so the next time I did it, I had a piece of whatever with a bulldog clip on it, and just clip the envelope so that now I can bend over and it don't fall
Okay,
down.
yeah.
These are things you learn. So when you road test something, you want to everything. But in 10 years after doing that trick, well, maybe less, hopefully less. Everything that's gone wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah.
So you were prepared. So that will never happen again. I mean, the chances of it even happening are one in
Even
probably a million.
the probability is, yeah.
I could never do that again if I wanted to.
Yeah.
The fact that those envelopes went straight down in the floor, a thin little gap like.
How he aimed exactly in that thing, I do not know.
So road test everything, and then when you feel you're ready to take it on the road, do it for friends. When I'm doing new magic, always friends. Hey, or my son, or his friends, you know.
Mhm. And, well, it's almost because I see a little bit of a correlation with food. It's almost like a chef who doesn't taste the food before serving it.
I didn't even taste it after I've made it. Have you seen the stuff I made?
Those deep fried Twinkies there? Mm.
If I ate half of that stuff, I'd be a balloon.
So you have your idea, you've road tested it, the exploration is done, and you say, okay, well, listen, I got something here. It seems to be viable. Maybe it should become a product or something. How does one maybe go about, like, is there a certain protocol about trying to get your stuff out to the right people? Would you suggest people trying to do it on their own, or I guess it's a case by case scenario with
I would say case by case.
because I don't think people realize how much magic companies they get like they're solicited nonstop.
Most of them have several people. That's their job, is to intake new material.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a prototype, you have to have video. If it's an idea, maybe you're selling an idea, and the company's like, they will put all the investment into it. There's a lot that goes into that, and then it's also finding a fit for you and the company who you work with. And you have to be, it's like anything, you have to be prepared to get rejected.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And not get, you might think it's the best idea in the world. Honestly, I get considered all the time because I produce magic, right? So I had somebody yesterday, and I looked at the video and I thought, it's a great idea, but the original trick, so whoever created the original trick of that idea, it's got to the point where it's so clean, you're just complicating it by adding a gimmick, and that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I had to turn it down because I said, well, I like the concept of it, but I think you've overthought the whole thing. You've got where the dirty work happens. It seems pretty obvious. You created a gimmick that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
You might be, but I didn't want to put it. I mean, it's a friend of mine, a very good friend, and I love the concept of what he's got so much. I think maybe use it for something else.
Yes, usually, yeah, that's the thing. That happens too, because sometimes you make something for one solution, it doesn't stick. If you take that exact same thing and try it in other, you'd be surprised how it could actually be adapted to something else.
Well, that's like what you and I talk, what we're about to release.
Yeah.
I had my idea of what to do, and you did some other stuff with it that completely opposite of what I had originally intended it on being used. And I didn't even know, I never see, my mind didn't even think like that. That's why I love creating with other creative people, because you come into it from a completely different
perspective.
I have one idea in my mind of what I wanted to do with it, and I created that. And but you were like, oh no, it can do 10 other things. I go, what? Oh my God, yes, it can. I didn't even
yeah.
So I love that.
Well, see, that's the other thing too, is that certain times, like there can be rejection, I find, but maybe not to be afraid of, if someone else has a similar product, not to be afraid. It's not competition. You could reach out to them and talk. The worst case will say, no, I'll do it alone, but you'd be surprised. Like certain people will say, yeah, we should try and figure something out.
I like that. I've always created stuff with other people. No, I haven't always, but I do like that process because I like being around other creative people, uh, because people see it from a different, completely different way than you may see it, and
Yeah.
then if it makes it stronger and enables you to do more with that gimmick or more with that idea,
Hmm.
and often I've got friends that just cut right down to the simplest and go, oh well, you should, you know, I think people with knowledge. I like to hang out with people with knowledge,
Yeah.
because they have the knowledge of what's been in the past and what's been done before. So you can often make things a lot simpler.
Well, that also you have to have your ego in check, I think, for that a little bit because
Forget that this is the problem. This
no, but that's what I'm saying. It's like if to be a creator in one thing and to I think we all aspire to be original, but originality and especially today, I think it's layering. It's like cooking, you know? It's layering existing things and creating your own flavor out of that. But the
absolutely.
probability of it being 100% original, it's next to zero.
Yeah, and there are performers who don't want to create; they just want to perform, and so that's also fine. But you can be creative. You can. I like to get a magic trick and make it my own.
Yeah.
And Chaplin, although Chaplin is probably 95% original stuff, maybe 90%. But anything that I put in the act, it has to fit. Creatively, it has to fit, has to make sense, um, has to. It becomes original to me. I make it my own.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about creating a trick to sell, um, it's nothing wrong with
No, but I
that.
find like you're saying it's completely different on the approach because trying
Depends.
to yeah,
So it depends what you want to create for. I keep
yeah,
going back. Are you creating to produce a trick? Because a lot of
yeah,
people would like to put something on the market. I've got an idea.
yeah,
Or are you? It's a different mentality than creating. Usually, it's a routine you're creating. If you're
yeah.
putting in your show, you buy a trick and you go, "How can I make it my own?"
Hmm.
Uh, you're not creating a trick. You're creating a routine to make fit you.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, mm.
Well, I mean, incredible insight. I mean, all in all, I think it's super complete and there's a lot of gems in there. It's pretty incredible. I mean, thanks so much, Paul, for there's like all these things going on for you to take an hour and share all this stuff. I feel privileged here.
Well, I could probably talk about it for hours. Thank you. No, it's nice to be asked because what'll happen now is I'm going to carry on. I'm going to go for a walk with my dog, and I'll think, oh, I wish I'd said that. I wish I'd.
Well, there's always the comment section in the
All right,
but
buddy.
well, if there was one thing, let's say if you were to leave like some listeners on a recap or like some sort of final note, do you have any suggestions or some sort of tips? Like, what would you already given so many, but if there was something to sum it up,
Um, yeah, I think my biggest advice to anybody is look out, and we've said this before at the beginning, look outside of magic for inspiration. Don't put yourself in a bubble. I know when people start magic, it becomes their life, but really you need to be creative. You need to look outside of it and get inspiration outside of it. Look at art, look at theatre, um, music, obviously, um, visual things. Get so to spark that gem. If you're looking to get into creating something, um, look outside of magic. Somebody gave me a quote, Diana Zinnerman quote. She gave me this quote. What is it now? It's not really much. I guess it's to do with creativity. Magic is, oh shoot, not the ceiling. Magic is, I forget what she said. Oh, and there was a quote I had in my mind forever. Magic is, magic is, what is it? Magic is something, but not the ceiling. In other words,
yeah, okay, yeah, it's not it's the process. It's not it's almost like saying it's the journey. It's not the destination.
that's right. Yeah. So the destination could be you're a magician and you end up being a famous actor, or you
Yeah.
end up, it takes you in a completely different magic is the, oh, it's annoying me because I used to say,
That's going to go in the comments for sure, for sure.
but and I've quoted it in Vanish
Yeah.
and it's not the ceiling. So in other words, and it relates to creativity as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can aim here, but aim go higher.
It's like if you aim for the moon, worst case scenario, if you miss that, you land within the stars.
Yes, yeah. So um, I encourage everybody to be creative, whether it be as a performer or create original material. If you want to sell it, if that's your goal, or just to have material. I mean, if you want to be well known, I won't say famous because there's only 3 famous magicians anyway: Harry Houdini,
Chris Angel.
Chris. I mean, there's such a small handful that
I know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The idea of somebody getting into magic to be famous never happened. Become an actor, you've got more chance.
Well, well, I think that's beside even the point, because magic, in sense, it's supposed to be a sharing of a moment, of an experience. So if you're doing that just to try and like boost your ego and be like the center stage, I think that you're diminishing the effect. It becomes almost like an ego boost. Like you're trying to say
that. I mean, a lot of people do it in the magic world because that's a small world, and they can get to that easily in the magic world where they feel they're important. But in the real world,
yeah. Listen, I'm a 50-year-old guy. If I go out street into Costco and I say that I'm a magician, do you think that they're actually going to tap me on the back? They're like, Jesus Christ, your life didn't turn out so good after all, huh, my friend?
People don't care.
50-year-old magician. That's like the 40-year-old virgin.
A lot of them are, I think.
Jeez,
That's fine. No, so I don't want to put magic down or magicians down, but what I'm saying is that think about creators. You should be creating every day.
Yeah.
Put time aside and then set yourself a project. If you're new to it, set yourself a little project. Might be something simple.
Yeah.
And then work on it. And then the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
It's like going to the gym.
What's that?
Well, just it's taking with that and you're kickboxing in the morning. That's like the first step. It's just doing that first step. That's the hardest, like you're saying. And then once you get into the motion of doing it
does. You have to train yourself. I mean, we're going to talk for another hour here, but we won't talk for another hour. You have to train yourself. So you have to train yourself to be creative. It's actually
that is actually very true.
So it's like writing a book. I think I said this at the beginning. You set yourself an hour a day. You train yourself to get up and you force yourself to write half an hour. It might be one sentence, but you're doing it. And then over time, it just becomes
easier and easier. Yeah.
So it's actually a little hard for me to explain my process and stuff because it's natural process for me now. I've been doing it for over 30. Well, I've been creating forever, and it's just a natural process. So for me,
like a second nature.
It is. So that's what I'm saying. I have to go back and think about, oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, I could have added this. So to come up with the answers for me is a little difficult, not difficult, but there'll be things I'm not saying that I probably should have said, but hopefully somebody.
Listen, there's more than enough gems in there for sure. I mean, like,
we haven't even started. I've just got a whole other. I've got another.
I know it goes fast, huh? No, I know. Listen, Paul. I mean, I talk to you kind of regularly. I think I learned some incredible stuff. I mean, like, I already knew that you're really. I feel like super accomplished already. I'm a little bit jealous because I don't know how you got more than 24 hours in a day, because what you're able to do in a day, it's nonstop. It's always nonstop.
Well, here's the best thing I ever learned in life. So this is a life lesson. Is time management, because everybody asks me the same question because I do a lot. Yeah. I really, to be honest with you, I think I really don't do that much, but people apparently think I do. but and the reason I say that is because I just do it. So I don't think at the moment. This morning I woke up at 6 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, I was out painting my friend's house.
No, I know it's always well, helping too, because if it's not working on your stuff, you're working on someone else's stuff.
No, I was painting. It's just,
Yeah.
I love painting. He said, "Well, I help. I painted
You were
this."
meditating. That's
I,
what you were meditating.
he said to me, he said, well, he said, well, you've got so much to do. I said, no. I said, I really enjoy, and I enjoy menial things like cleaning. I love
Yeah.
vacuuming. I
Yeah.
love cleaning
Yeah.
because my focus is
You zone out.
to zone out, and then
Yeah.
people find that weird.
No, no, no.
To paint, I'm painting the house, and
Because it's mundane. You're on autopilot.
so I just turn it off. I'm not
Yeah.
even thinking of painting. Doesn't even, you
Yeah.
don't have to, you just so everything.
Auto
So
repeat.
when you come back to what you need to do,
Yeah.
time out, you come back, and then you're creative. It's like you recharge your battery.
I find that that's important to do a little bit because it kind of is like if you're nonstop like brainstorming, the dust is constantly just, yeah. And so you have to leave that kind of like settle to
Yeah,
see what came out of the surface there. Because if you're nonstop, just
yeah.
so I find that like you're saying, it's important to just give yourself a little bit distance so that you could turn back and say, "Oh my God, that was so obvious. I just needed to do that little thing."
That's it. Often you have to remove yourself from it, and
Yeah.
then do something. That's what we talked about earlier. We're going to start repeating ourselves. So probably
No, no, it's the circle there. We finished. That's
yeah.
perfect.
So we talked about putting things on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
And they're visually, I know, oh, that's in the back of my mind always, and I look
Yeah.
at it, pick it up, put it down, and then I might see something completely different. But so
You could see the same thing 100 times on that shelf.
Yeah.
One day you're going to see it a different way. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's the same damn thing you've been looking at.
and that's because you've been inspired by something else. Maybe
Yes.
trick's been released, or you've
Yeah.
seen something. Or often, as I said, I keep going back to places like Home Depot. I'll go through and look at pieces of metal or magnets or whatever it is, and oh, here's something I do regularly. In other words, every single night before I go to sleep,
Oh,
is I go online.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. I didn't know she's still alive. I go online and I look up places like we have a place here called Lee Valley, which is like a really cool place that sells tools, hardware, and I go through and I just look at because they've got stuff invented all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Every day they've got something new that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And so and that's actually how I found part of a gimmick recently of something I created that I use for myself. Completely changed the entire thing. I happened to be looking and I looked at something completely stupid, like sewing or something.
Yeah.
And it was being used for something completely nothing to do with magic. And I just flipped out. I go, oh my God. And then I ordered it and it's the best thing ever.
But
So
that's like you're saying it. It's
I spend
anywhere.
about 10, 15 minutes every night before I go to sleep, just going through this particular website and it just sticks in my and just sits there, and I know what's available. But there's new stuff coming out all the time.
Oh no, I know, but I agree. Me, it's more like with AliExpress because it could be anything, like a motor, a battery, anything.
Nothing to do with magic, but it's to do with just stuff that's out there.
I like seeing how things are made. I really like taking things apart, and understanding how things are made.
There needs to be a curiosity as well, I think, when it comes to creativity. You have to enjoy. You have to really enjoy the process, and understand that it can take a long time, and not put pressure on yourself either.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's done when it's done.
Yeah. And on that note,
yes. Well, listen again, Paul. Thanks so much for everything. The time, fantastic.
Did you press record?
Oh shit! That actually happened once where I was like recording and it was kind of like glitchy. We had to redo it, but now everything's perfect. So
See, now that I've done it, I wouldn't mind redoing it again so that I can
no, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I mean,
again.
No. See, that's the thing. You're always like a perfectionist. You want to like do the redo it, so we'll do it. We'll redo it. Okay, we'll have a split screen of you on you. And then you'll comment on yourself.
I'll talk to myself. That guy's full of crap.
He forgot this little pig.
All right, my friend. It was great to talk to you. Thank you for inviting me.
Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, bud. See ya.